Hey everyone! Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more real-life stories of betrayal, resilience, and lessons you won't want to miss. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it hits hardest when it comes from those you love the most. I was the backbone of my family, paying the bills, funding my sister's college, keeping the lights on. Yet my jealous sister watched me, exposed me, and my parents threw me out like I meant nothing. They thought I was weak. They thought I was done. What they didn't realize was that without me, their perfect little world would collapse. My name is Emily. I'm 27 years old, and all my life I believed that love could heal every wound in a family. I was the kind of daughter who stayed awake at night, worried if the bills were paid, making sure my parents were comfortable, and giving up my own dreams so my younger sister could go to college. I thought that if I gave enough, loved enough, and forgave enough, my family would always stay together. But love doesn't always come back. My sister, my own blood, never saw me as her support. She saw me as her competitor. I noticed little signs, the way her smile faded when someone praised me, the subtle sting behind her sweet words. I ignored it because I loved her. I told myself she's my sister. She'll outgrow this jealousy. I was wrong. While I was protecting her future, she was plotting to destroy mine. She planted a spy on me, someone to follow my every move, to catch proof of a betrayal I hadn't committed. All because she knew my secret, the one thing I had kept hidden from my parents. My youngest brother had married for love. My parents could never forgive him. They cut him off like he didn't exist. But he was still my brother. I couldn't abandon him. I met him in secret, hugged him when he was broken, and reminded him he wasn't alone. To me, that was love. To my parents, once my sister revealed the truth, it was unforgivable. That night, they confronted me with photos of me with my brother. Their anger was pure fire. My mother's face twisted in rage. My father's voice boomed. "You betrayed us, Emily. You chose him over your family. Leave this house tonight." I stood frozen, tears stinging my eyes. I wanted to shout that I had never betrayed them, that everything they had, every comfort, every convenience, came from my work and sacrifice. But they didn't care. The daughter who loved them more than herself was now a traitor in their eyes. My sister, my own sister, watched from the corner with a smug smile, barely trying to hide it. That night, I walked out with nothing but my shattered heart. The night air felt heavier than ever, carrying not just my suitcase, but years of silent sacrifices that no one had seen, no one had appreciated. My parents thought they had control over me, but the truth was they were living off my strength. Every month, my money kept the electricity on. My salary stocked the fridge when my father's pride wouldn't let him admit he couldn't. And I paid for my sister's expensive college tuition so she could flaunt her books and friends, pretending she was better than me. She never knew. They never knew. No one ever asked where the money came from. Maybe they thought it was divine luck. Or maybe they were just too used to thinking they deserved it. Sitting on a lonely bench outside the train station, I opened my bank app. My hands trembled not from fear, but from a storm of emotions. With a single swipe, I canceled every transfer, tuition, utilities, automatic grocery payments. For the first time in years, I felt a strange sense of freedom. My love had been ignored, my loyalty discarded like dust. And now, without me, they would finally understand what it meant to lose the person holding the family together. A part of me ached. Even after their cruel words, even after being thrown out like nothing, my heart still whispered, "They're your parents. She's your sister. You love them." But love cannot survive without respect. That night, I realized I had given everything while receiving nothing in return. I closed my phone, wiped my tears, and whispered, "Let them live without me. Let them see the truth." The first crack appeared just a week later. My sister called me, her voice shaking. "Emily, the college sent me a notice. They said if I don't pay the tuition balance." Within just 7 days, my sister's college threatened to freeze her classes. I stayed silent as she spoke. My chest tightened, not with pity, but with the sharp taste of justice. For years she'd lived her student life without ever knowing whose hands had bled to make it possible. Now reality was pressing down on her shoulders at last. The second blow landed at home. My mother called, not to apologize or ask me back, but to yell, "What have you done? The electricity's been cut off. The neighbors are talking about us." The irony almost made me laugh. They branded me a traitor, and now they were pleading for the invisible hands of that traitor to fix their problems. By the third week, their perfect little world began to crack. The fridge stood empty. The car had no gas. The internet was shut off. My father's temper spiraled out of control. He accused my sister of mishandling the money. She screamed back that she'd never even known where the money came from. Meanwhile, my sister kept trying to reach me, dozens of calls, endless texts, some begging, some threatening, some dripping with venom. "Emily, please. Just one more payment. I'll be ruined if I drop out. You're heartless. No wonder nobody loves you." Each time her name flashed across my screen, I let it ring. I was no longer their silent provider. I was no longer their shield. I'd become nothing but the ghost of a daughter they'd thrown away, watching as their home turned into a prison of their own making. For the first time in years, I slept peacefully, knowing they were finally feeling the cost of betraying the only one who truly loved them. It didn't take long for my sister's pride to shatter. The same girl who had smirked when my parents cast me out was now standing at my apartment door, tears streaking her face. "Emily, please," she whispered, her voice raw. "I can't do this anymore. The college is threatening to expel me. Mom and Dad are blaming me for everything. You have to help me." For a moment my heart tugged. She was still my sister. But then I remembered the smirk the night she betrayed me, the satisfaction in her eyes as I was cast aside. My love for her had been real, but her jealousy had poisoned it. I folded my arms and said softly, "You wanted me gone. Now live without me." She broke, dropping to her knees. I didn't know it would end like this. Before I could reply, a new message buzzed on my phone, this time from an unexpected number. It was my brother. "Emily, I heard what happened. Please come over. We need to talk." I hadn't seen him since the night I was banished. His voice brought back memories of how I'd always protected him, stood by him when no one else would. My heart softened instantly. When I met him and his wife in their small apartment, warmth surrounded me. His wife hugged me tightly. "You've carried too much alone," she said. "Let us carry you now." I poured out everything. The betrayal, the eviction, the secret years of support. My brother's eyes filled with tears. "Emily, you were the heart of that house. Without you, it was bound to collapse." For the first time, I didn't feel alone. I wasn't the broken daughter. I was the strong sister who had been wronged. Then came the biggest shift, my parents. Rumors had spread among relatives. The truth was surfacing, that it was me, not them, who had been paying for everything. When they finally called, their voices had lost their thunder. They were shaky, unsure. "Emily, can we talk?" my father asked. I didn't answer right away. For once, the power was mine. I knew the day had to come when every hidden truth would be exposed. I invited my parents and my sister to my small apartment. My brother and his wife sat beside me, their presence steadying me. When my parents walked in, shame and stubborn pride clung to their faces. My sister avoided my eyes, restless. I placed a thick folder on the table. "Do you know what this is?" I asked calmly. My father frowned. "More of your tricks?" I opened the folder and slid out the papers, bank statements, receipts, transfer records. These are the bills I paid, the tuition I covered, the groceries, the electricity, the gas. Every single comfort you thought was yours came from me. My mother's lips parted, but no words emerged. My father's hands trembled as he picked up a statement. For once, they had no defense. Then I turned to my sister. "And this," I said, holding up my phone, "is the proof of what you did." On the screen were messages from her spy, screenshots of her instructions, her laughter, "Don't worry. Once Emily is gone, everything will be mine." Her face went pale. "That's not. Don't you dare lie again," I snapped. My voice shook, not from weakness, but from years of suppressed rage. "You hated me, even when I loved you. You wanted me destroyed, even while I carried you." The room fell silent. My parents stared at her, disappointment etched in their eyes. For the first time, they saw her not as the innocent daughter, but as the snake she had become. My father whispered, "Emily, what have we done?" I took a deep breath and stood tall. "You chose lies over love. You threw me away even though I was the one keeping this family alive. Tonight, I'm not here to beg for your acceptance. I'm here to tell you this chapter of my life is closed." My sister broke into sobs. "Please, Emily, I didn't mean." But her tears no longer reached me. My heart had hardened in the fire of betrayal. That night, for the first time, I wasn't the broken daughter or the forgotten sister. I was the woman who stood in her truth, unafraid. After that night, nothing in my family stayed the same. The mask had fallen. My parents couldn't unsee the proof. The traitor daughter was the one who'd carried them all those years. Their pride and joy, the favored one, had destroyed them with lies and jealousy. My sister's world crumbled fast. Without my support, college expelled her for unpaid tuition. The friends who once clung to her drifted away when she could no longer host parties or flaunt her privilege. She tried to blame me, but now everyone knew the truth. She wasn't the victim. She was the cause. My parents felt the weight of their choices, too. Bills piled up, creditors called, and the house that once stood proud became a cage. One evening, my mother called again, her voice small. "Emily, can you come home? We made a mistake." I closed my eyes. Once those words would have healed me. Now they only reminded me of scars too deep to erase. "No," I whispered. "Home isn't a place where love is conditional. I found my real family with my brother and his wife. That's where I belong." From that moment, I stopped looking back. My brother and I built something new together, a small business that grew from nothing into something steady. For the first time, I invested my time and money not into pleasing people who discarded me, but into creating a future where I was valued. One afternoon, as I stood outside our little shop, I saw my sister across the street. Her eyes were hollow, her clothes wrinkled, her pride gone. She stared at me for a long moment, as if waiting for me to cross over and save her again. But I didn't move. I simply looked back with calm eyes, because now the truth was clear. She had lost me, not the other way around. I turned back to my brother and his wife, who smiled at me with gratitude and love. For the first time in years, my heart felt light. As I locked the shop door that evening, I whispered to myself, "Blood may bind us, but respect keeps us together. Without it, blood means nothing." This time my story didn't end in tears. It ended in freedom.